Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Sarah.
Hey, Allie. What's up?
Welcome back.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna
It's
act
good.
like I haven't seen you.
Every day.
Wow, it's been so long.
It has been, what, like a month?
Yeah, about
About a month or so.
about a month. So we're back. Our parent cafe hiatus is over. We're back.
Mm-hmm.
We're back with some stories and chats and things. So yay.
Woohoo.
And we do have lots to talk about. So
And we got stuff lined up and ready, and I'm excited.
I know there's some episodes coming out soon, and I cry a lot, so that one will be really fun for everyone to watch. I don't know, I might like edit that one, so whenever I'm like crying or if I have like wheezing or something, I might like edit a dolphin sound into it.
I would like that.
We'll see. I feel like whoever's listening right now is probably like, why? But you're not giving us any context.
Yeah,
We don't
what
even
are
know
you
why you're
talking about?
crying. It's okay. You don't need to know until it happens. Yeah.
It's good crying. It's good crying.
It's a good cry. I cry a lot. It's fine. I'm fine. We're fine.
Yeah. I'm fine, I swear.
It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Yeah, you're only not okay if you say I'm okay all the time. So I'm okay.
I'm definitely okay.
But
Anyways.
we wanted to kind of get everybody involved again. So we were on our Instagram and we posted some questions and like interactions on our story about just like summer vacation and summer plans and things, since we're summer now, July 19th. We've had a heat wave.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Are you surviving?
Yes. I think like living in Ontario like prepared me more, but I also like forgot what it was like. So I'm like, oh, I was hot and we don't have AC. We had like 3 fans. I live in a trailer, so it was just like a sweat tank. We like tinfoiled every window in my house. I felt like a crazy like conspiracy theorist when I like had tinfoil everywhere. But man, it was nice.
You're blocking out all the like bad juju.
The sun. Yes, exactly.
I always wondered about tinfoil because like I heard about that for the first time this year, I think, like putting tinfoil in your windows. I actually made the assumption that it made it warmer. Just because tinfoil, I like connect that with like
cooks
cooking.
it. You have to have the shiny side like out, like facing the sun, so it just reflects off. Yeah. That's the key. Like I don't want to know if you had it backwards, that would not be good.
Well, yeah, I thought about it. Like I was like, oh, maybe I should put tinfoil in our windows, but we have like our windows are like 60 inches by like 70 inches, like they're massive. And then we have like the peaked windows.
Oh.
So I would have been up there for like 3 days trying to put tinfoil up. I would have probably used like 20 rolls.
Oh yeah, and then at night I would like peel it back and like open the window because there would be a nice cool breeze. Oh yeah, it was a lot of work. I think I just survived. And I was on holiday, so it was like it was so great because it was like beautiful. But then like you can't go outside and enjoy it like as much as I had intended to. So
and definitely like even just considering Ontario, like it's a different heat.
Yes.
Like that's because Southern Ontario, like where I lived, and you were Southern too.
Yeah, I was pretty Southern, yeah.
So that's like humid heat.
Yes.
And actually, I also learned this a while ago, but the Southern Ontario, like that peak of Southern Ontario, where that like last little point is, it lines up with the top of California. So some pretty like tropical temperatures there.
Yeah.
In the summer.
That makes sense.
But
yeah, like this heat, I don't know, it kind of reminded me of it. Like it did feel a little bit more humid, but I don't know if it's just so hot that it's just in my head that it was.
There were a couple of the days that were very muggy, like wet feeling. But I can't say I felt sticky, which like, except for one day. I had one day where I felt like pretty sticky, and that reminded me of like the humid, but The rest of them I felt pretty dry. It was so dry though that like I felt like I went outside into the sun and that I could instantly feel my skin like burning.
Yeah.
Like it was just like too hot.
Yeah, I went floating on like Canada Day and whew, everyone was burnt.
Yeah.
Like we were red little people.
Just a bunch of little red.
Oh yeah, it was
little
bad.
crabs coming
Yeah.
coming up out of the river.
Oh yeah. It was not good.
Oh no.
But it was fun, but it was like we didn't bring the kids. Like no one brought their kids. Like it was just too hot that day and I'm so glad I didn't. But yeah, like with kids, like it's like you're trying to survive yourself, but then you're trying to make them happy, but they're so cranky and it's just like they want to play outside. But like Abby, she was like, some days she would step outside and be like, no, too hot, and just like walk back in. It's
too
like,
hot.
Nope, not going out there, Mom.
That's pretty smart though.
Yeah. Yeah, she figured it out pretty fast. Was like, I don't want to play in that.
Did anyone...
I mean, she got away with a lot more.
Oh, really?
Week. Oh, yeah. Because I'm just like, whatever makes you happy.
Yeah. Sure. You want ice cream? Sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We ate a lot of ice cream and popsicles. Yeah. I think that was her diet.
Oh, that's good though. Like, keep it cool. It's only a couple weeks, right?
Exactly. We survived.
Did any of you, like, at the river, did anyone get, like, heat stroke or anything?
My sister's boyfriend got, like, 2nd-degree burns. Like, he sunscreened, but then, like, he must have missed some spots, and where he missed was, like, real bad. But no one got heat stroke. We were well hydrated.
Good, okay.
We were in and out of the river and stuff like that, too. Yeah. So
it's scary. Like, it gets so hot, but, like, the river water is so cool.
Yeah.
I think that it's, like, easy to kind of forget, like,
how bad it is.
How hot it is. If you're like floating through the river and half of you is like under just like wet, cold water.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I know you like burn faster in the water, no?
That's what I think too. Like it's more reflective, right? Mm-hmm. So I think so. But it also feels so cool, like even just standing or even just floating on the river, that breeze. So you're like, I'm fine.
I'm good.
You kind of forget about it, but does anyone have any experience, I wonder, like with floating in the past or this summer, like with burns or kids? Ooh. Abby hasn't gotten a sunburn yet, and I just don't want to go there. Like,
yeah, I think like the thing with floating is you really got to know where you're going, because if you end up on a float that's way too long in this kind of heat, like, and you're not prepared for that, that's devastating. Like,
it is.
I've gone on floats, but I floated and it ended up starting to like kind of like rain a bit towards the end of it. Like we had storm clouds coming over us, which was kind of freaky. And we couldn't really tell how much we had left. So, and that was last summer. So it was like, I think there was about an hour, and I kept thinking, oh, I remember it ends after this turn.
Yeah.
And it was like 10 of the same turn later.
And you're like, this is the same?
Yeah, where? I was like, I'm pretty sure this was supposed to end an hour ago, but sorry, everyone. Like, but we didn't go this year, like during the heat. No, we just went and sat in the river, like brought lawn chairs and like just put them in the river and sat there.
Yeah.
And that was really nice. But again, didn't really do it till later in the day, so the sun was kind of like already setting.
Yeah, I know. By the time like you're up and like organized and stuff, and you're like, oh, you like made a plan, you're like, it is way too late in the day to like survive this heat.
Yeah.
Let us know if you have any tips or tricks that you guys survived the heat wave through for kids, because like I need them. Like we had a tiny little pool. Obviously wish I would have bought a pool beforehand. Do you know what? Brandon and I, we went to Costco like the week before, and we were going to buy an air conditioner and we forgot. And then obviously we couldn't go, like they were sold out. Like
they were sold out instantly.
Yeah. So I was like, I wish I remembered, because that would have been so nice. Like we were like, oh yeah, that's what we're going to get here. And totally forgot. Worst mistake.
I know a lot of people who scrambled like to go find fans and ACs.
Anything.
And nothing.
Yeah. I had 3 little fans, and honestly, it was great. Well, it wasn't great. It worked.
I survived though too. Like I think I do like the warm temperatures, so I was just kind of hanging out and like trying to stay still.
Yeah.
As much as I could, because it was just like I can't really move in this. Like if I start sweating, it's not going to be fun for me.
Yeah.
So, and I don't typically sweat a lot. So just like thinking about like sweating and like sitting there and just, I just was like, no. So I stayed pretty still. But Levi really had a hard time.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was like sleeping in the basement and like, I kept telling him so one trick is like freezing your sheets, just putting your sheets in the freezer.
Oh.
So if you have like, just your bed, like not the fitted sheet, but the sheet that goes on top, just the regular sheet.
Flat sheet.
The flat sheet. You just put that in the freezer. You can put pillowcases in the freezer. And like, it just helps when you're like falling asleep. It stays cold for a pretty long time.
You can obviously don't get them wet.
No, they don't get them wet. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I pictured first, like just frozen sheets, like
no
laying down over you. Okay.
No, they don't get wet. They just get really cold. And then
oh, why didn't you tell me this?
You never asked.
I wish I did.
And the other one is like just to, like temporarily just wetting like a towel and like wearing it like a cold towel. That works.
I did
really
that at nighttime.
If you have magic bags, you can put those in the freezer. So they're fun to just like have on top of you or next to you, and they kind of give off cool. The other one that's like kind of innovative, if you have a ceiling fan, you can attach like a Tupperware of ice, just using like some string or whatever, just under the fan so that the air is like pushing the cold that's coming off the ice. And to make it colder, you just put some salt on it.
I did see that kind of similar, that you like hang it in front of your fan, like a cold ice pack or like something. People even use like frozen milk jugs and it just blows through that. I never tried it. I don't know why. I'm like, that would probably be a good idea. And I never did it.
Yeah. So you can do it like with an ice bucket kind of thing under your ceiling fan. It works. I
wonder if we're in for a hot summer. Like,
from what I can tell, I feel like that was kind of
it
in terms of like heat wave. And I think like moving forward, we're likely gonna, because now we've already had our longest day. So I feel like we're probably gonna move into like hot during the day, like maybe 30 would be like our max. But then we're gonna have those like cold nights now.
Oh yeah. I'm okay with that. I really like 30.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. Like 25 to 30 is like
25 to 30. Yep.
40, not a fan.
No. And like 25 to 30. And then if in the evening it's going down like 14, 15.
Yeah.
I really like that because then it's so much nicer to have a fire outside.
Yeah. You're not sweating beside the fire.
You just have like your sweatpants and like a hoodie on, right? Like, and then it's actually like enjoyable to be by the fire. But when it's too hot, it's like, man, I just like sunburnt all day and now you want me to stand in front of like flames?
Hot flames.
Are you kidding me?
I put a sweater on today because it's kind of chilly, and man, I'm like, I miss wearing a sweater. I have pockets.
Yeah.
Like, this was nice. That was what I missed for some reason. Probably pockets.
I had a sweater on this morning too, and then I like coming out of the office there, the sun was out, and I was just like, oh, okay, there's sun now. I should take my sweater off.
Yeah.
It's just all over the place with the weather. But we have so like I had mentioned before we went on our usual tangent, we posted a few things to our story on Instagram, and we got some responses. So a favorite family vacation spot. Ooh. Does anything come to mind for you?
To me, no. Actually, well, like our family, like Brandon's family and stuff, we went down to BC for his brother's wedding 2 years ago now, and we went to Cultus Lake. It was great. They have like a little water park there, a lake. And we just got an Airbnb. So I would say that one for me, just because it was so much fun.
Yeah.
And they had a carnival that weekend that we were there, so it worked out even better.
That's cool.
And a parade. But yeah, so that one for me. I don't really have any like past ones. I'd say like family cottages and stuff. Would probably be like my past ones. But we don't really have one that like just me, Brandon, and Abby go to. Like we don't really like haven't been like camping or anything
like
since
vacationing yet.
Yeah.
But you'll be getting there because she's getting older.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a past and a current. So like past in Ontario, I loved every single summer we would find time, either a family or with friends, to camp at like the Georgian Bay area.
Okay.
And so they have like these caves there that you can like dive and swim into. Super clear water, super cold. And it's kind of like across, like you can go up to Tobermory at that point and do like this cruise and look at like shipwrecks underneath.
Oh, cool.
That were like in that bay. So that was like my favorite past vacation spot. And then current is going out to the cabin in BC with Sam Jam. Super good. It's like right off Arrow Lake. So
I don't know where that is, but I know you've told me about it.
Yeah. Near like Nicasp, I guess is where.
Okay.
So it's not far from.
I'm terrible with directions and maps, so Google will tell me where to go.
But it's really nice and just like, still quiet. Pretty secluded, quiet. Yeah, because it's just like you don't go there unless you have a property. So
I feel like the older I get, the more like I'm looking for like quiet, and I totally get it now. Like why like older people are like, it's too loud here. I don't want to be here, and I'm like, I get it. Like when I'm on vacation, I want to relax, and like I don't want like crazy party people. But like when I was a younger, like 20 something, I was like, I don't get this. Okay. Why wouldn't you want people to have fun and do all crazy things?
Just read like the most relatable meme to what you just said. So you remember like we would go to the beach as like teens.
Yeah.
And we would bring like our Bluetooth speaker and like connect and like blast our tunes, and we're like laying there. I read this meme that was like just about that, but the other perspective where it was like, yeah, thanks. I totally wanted to listen to your hits like playlist while I'm here enjoying the sand and the ocean and the birds. Like, and I was so like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad for like ever being like that as like a young kid. And it's true, because like, but you like look for noise when you're younger.
You do. You like gravitate towards all that sensory stuff, right? And I definitely think like going back, I still would have done the same because you need that, and like that's what's fun to you at that time. But then like as you get older, I'm like, silence is nice.
Yeah, like now if I went to the beach like I did there, I haven't been to a beach in forever, but I feel like if I went now and someone had like loud music next to me, I'd be like,
can you turn it down?
Turn that off. It's not even the music I like. Like,
or like, can I make a request?
Yeah.
No.
Old. But I totally get it. I get it. Less noise is best now.
Especially like on holidays, and I guess it depends on the place and time. Like if I'm at a carnival or like something like that, like where I'm expecting it, but like if I'm going to go relax and like whatever, then I don't want it.
Like you're going to an outdoor concert, you're going to a festival. It's like you're going to be expecting that.
I know. Yeah, exactly.
I've never been here, but we did have a response. Bright Sand Lake in Saskatchewan.
Oh.
They said best lake ever. So
Bright Sand Lake?
Bright sand. So I'm just picturing that it's probably a very like clear water, sandy beach, which would be super cool.
I love that. That's kind of like where is it here? Close to Red Deer, isn't it? What's that
I don't know
I'm thinking of?
I don't know any
It's like a sandy
beaches.
beach. Oh, what is it called? I think it's close to Red Deer.
Okay. Should I look it up?
Yeah.
Like sandy beach, Red Deer.
It's like, yeah, it's not in Red Deer, but I think it starts with an S. It's not Slave Lake, but I think Slave Lake also has like a sandy beach. But it's like the Wasaga Beach of Alberta.
There's a sandy beach regional park.
No.
That's like near there.
I'm going to have to Google it.
Sandy Point?
No, it's not something sandy.
Oh, these are places near Red Deer.
Red Deer
Beach.
Someone probably like listening, like, oh my, just saying it, but I wish I could hear it.
Yeah, that's so frustrating. Red Deer Beach.
It's not, I don't even know if it's close to it. I think it is. What is it called? Sylvan Lake.
Oh, Sylvan Lake. Everyone goes there.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like the Wasaga Beach of Alberta.
Yeah.
Wasaga Beach is like a super busy beach in Ontario.
I say
that's what I knew it started with an S.
I say everyone goes there. I've never been.
I was gonna say I've never been either, but I hear it's so nice.
I heard it's very busy.
Yeah.
But you're right. It would be like the Wasaga Beach of of Alberta.
And then going to that beach, I would expect there to be like music and noise and
and like
that kind of stuff.
Kind of like not street performers, but like
that would be awesome.
Like, people selling like toys and okay,
markets and stuff like that. Yes. Okay, Sylvan. Yeah, I wonder if anyone's been there. Let us know what your thoughts are on it.
Yeah,
should I check it out? Is it good for like a 2-year-old?
Yeah, would you recommend it? Exactly.
Leave her at home.
Mm-hmm. So we have a pretty good story that someone had sent us. And basically we just asked, like, share your best or worst. We love the worst ones. So we can cry with you. But here it is, kind of long. We attempted a vacation on Canada Day this year. So we'd planned to road trip in 2 vehicles with my brother and his girlfriend to Banff. They were going to take our kids for the night so my husband and I could have a little date night, heart emojis. Then they were going to head home after a hike and the next day, and we were going to go spend a night in Lake Louise, then on to Edmonton for some family fun with my in-laws. So basically brother and his girlfriend were taking the kids. So this was like fun, going to be getting away from my children. Instead, the vehicle broke down at Athabasca Falls, and they spent the day in like 38-degree weather because that was Canada Day. How hot it was. Yeah. Waiting for a tow truck. Finally, at 4:00, her brother said, "Let's go to Banff." We all crammed into his truck and went to Banff for the night. So they still went to Banff.
That's good.
Yeah. The tow truck picked up the Jeep while they were gone and hauled it to Jasper. They spent the night in Banff, had a great late supper, did 2 short hikes the next day with everyone. So there was no me time.
Yeah. Kids still there.
That went out the window. They drove us all the way back to Edson and then went all the way home to Grand Prairie. Turns out the mechanic in Jasper couldn't fix the Jeep. So then their father-in-law drove with his trailer from Stony Plain to Jasper to pick up the Jeep and deliver it to the dealership in Edson, where it's still sitting and waiting to get fixed. They still managed to have fun, but it was not the trip they planned.
No.
So obviously, very different from what you thought was going to happen, which is so sad to think we're going to get a night away from the kids and
go on this nice long road trip.
No.
without having to like worry about snacks.
No.
Ah,
I know. And isn't it so sad? Like vehicles always break down when you're about to have like the most
when
fun.
you're having fun. Yeah.
Like last summer, our machine broke down and we were like up at the top of a mountain. And we had to get towed in the front and in the back. So we were like being tandem towed by like Levi's sister and dad. And like with no brakes almost because the brakes were quitting too.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least they were like in Jasper and not in like Banff where they had like broke down.
Yeah.
So like they still had some options, I guess, but that is rough.
So rough. And Athabasca is like quite a drive from the town too. So it's like still quite a wait to figure out like, okay, are we staying? Are we going? Like, is it worth it? Like, what do we do?
At least they had self-service.
That's true.
Oh,
that's true.
that would be even worse. Just flagging people down. Oh, no, thank you.
No. And like of all days too, like Canada Day, you don't even know it's open.
Right? Oh, well, I'm glad they made it home.
Exactly. Everyone made it in one piece. It's all good. Do you have any like bad stories like that?
The only one I can like that comes to mind is when I was an annoying like 20-year-old.
Oh.
Do I tell it?
Why not?
Okay, so me and my friends all planned. We planned like this big camping trip, and we were going to go up to Ottawa because I had friends from college that lived in Ottawa. We were going to meet up with them, and then my friends from home. We were all going to get together. We had like 3 or 4 campsites booked in one of the provincial parks. So we get there that night after it's like a 3 or 4 hour drive. We get there, unload, start drinking, whatever, having fun. The night goes, we get in trouble from like the patrol bylaw people. They're like, you guys got to keep it down. No, so we just kept going. I obviously the 20-year-old or whatever. I don't even know if I was 20. Yeah, I think I was like 19 or 20. Anyways, I'm like, we're all good. Everyone thinks we're all good. We keep partying and doing whatever. The next day, it just continues. But like, and so we're kind of drinking during the day and whatever.
Did
so
you sleep?
Yes, we did sleep. Oh, yes. Slept, continued drinking, like whatever.
Continuing.
And then a lot of the drivers, I was one of them. We drank more because like we had driven that whole day. We didn't really get to drink. We were setting up and doing whatever because we did get there pretty late. So the next day, the bylaw comes again and is like, hey, you guys got to quit it. Like whatever. This is your second warning. Third, you're out of here. So we tried. Obviously it didn't work. So bylaw comes again. We had too many. Most of the drivers, there was I think 3 drivers. Yeah, we got kicked out. So we got kicked out, but we had to wait until we were sober because none of our other friends had licenses that could even drive. So we had to do breathalyzers until we were sober enough to leave. So we had to pack up and just sit there and wait. Couldn't do anything, like couldn't make food, like nothing. So we all had to like pack up, go. And then we're like, well, where do we go? I lived in Kingston. Like I had just got a rental because I was going to school there. So we drove at like 11 o'clock. So it took hours for us to sober up, obviously, right? So I think we left the park at like 11 o'clock or 11:30. So we drove another like 2.5 hours to Kingston. At like whatever time, went to my rental, like all like squeezed into like this tiny little room. And it was just we were supposed to be there for like 4 days and we made it one night.
Oh my god.
And we all got tickets also.
Yeah, of course you did. And that's
and
like
kicked and banned from all the other parks, so we couldn't even go to another one.
Amazing.
Yeah,
and that's good. Along the lines of like the whole noise thing too, because you guys were probably like, whatever, like we're having fun. And then now if I have like a loud neighbor, I'm like, why are you partying?
Yeah, it is past 11. Yeah.
Like the noise needs to be off right now. Like I'm trying to sleep. I'm in bed at 9:30. Like But
Yeah,
I get
exactly.
it. I get
I
it.
totally get it now, and I'm like, that was rude. We were
And right, for everyone else, it's like
yeah,
inconsiderate, but you don't think about that because you're like, they're out here camping and having fun too. Like that's
yeah,
where your mind
exactly.
goes.
Yeah, and like for us, it was like a provincial park, so like there are a lot more rules,
Oh
but
yeah.
like we didn't really have a spot back then that like we could just go and like camp on like crown land and stuff like that.
Yeah, away
So
from everyone.
yeah, so you kind of got a provincial park, and yeah, we couldn't go to any, so we had to plan. So
Yeah.
thank God I had a rental, or we'd been driving like 5 hours home.
Yeah, you would have been home at like
Night.
4 a.m.
Yeah, it would have been great. Yeah. So that was our little jig that
That's
I'm
bad.
sure I could tell you more, but I won't on here. So
Okay. And then, well, later. But
yeah.
to flip it, then,
Yeah.
like bad experiences with children. I obviously don't have any yet, but I do have a story that's hilarious and I want to share it because it's with my family, but we were very small. So
Okay.
it's kind of like let me just think as to how old we were. I think I must have been 4, 5, and then my brother was 7-ish, like 6 or 7. Because I think this was the flight from Poland to like Canada.
Okay.
Because it was a long flight. And so my mom was flying with us. It was just my mom and then us two. So like 4 and 6-ish,
Ugh.
let's say.
How long is the flight?
It's like 8.5, 9 hours. Yeah.
God.
So, and think about the fact that like, okay, no Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Then, right? So like no Wi-Fi. The planes are like just the crowded, like tight plane. There's no like big screen TVs and like loungy area. Like it's not anything
you
that
sit
you
there
would.
and
Yeah.
hang out.
So you're in your like tight little seat. And like now when you go on a flight long like that, the planes are so much wider and they're comfortable and like anything over 8 hours, you know what I mean? Like it's just a little bit more of a comfortable flight. Well, I guess it depends who you fly with, but back then you kind of had no choice unless you paid for first class. So
yeah.
So we were flying and my brother was extremely sick. Like he could not be vomiting the whole time.
Oh.
So basically the way my mom tells it, like to put it in perspective, every single like puke bag that was anywhere near us was used up. So like by the end of the flight, everyone had already given us their puke bag.
Just canned it over.
Yeah. So like you can just imagine that like all the time there was a stewardess or a flight attendant coming over, collecting like a puke bag from us, and like we like used up all the puke bags. So my brother was like not having a good time.
Picture a garbage bag full of vomit.
Yeah. So that's super fun for everyone around them. But then what like takes the cake on this story is that the plane landed, everyone's ready to get off, and my brother is ready to puke again. And there's no more puke bags. Like my mom is literally like, there was no more. Like everyone gave us their puke bag. There was nothing else I could do. So she just quickly was like, what do I do? And ripped off his hood, like off his jacket. So it was one of those like button
like a button
hoods.
Okay.
So she like snapped his hood off and he threw up in his hood.
That's pretty smart. I'm not gonna lie.
Right? Like how?
I would have been like catching it. Like
right. And I told my mom because she was like just telling me this story the other day. And I'm like, hey, but how like quickly do you think under stress that you were like, oh, hood. Yeah, it's waterproof. Like, you know? And so I was just kind of laughing because I'm like, that's amazing. Because I probably same thing would have just been like cupping my hands or like putting my shirt out, like puking my shirt. Like, I don't know. I'd be just like out of options. But she so quickly just went like, oh, hood, like put it in the hood. But anyway, so she got praise from me because I thought that was just amazing. Yeah, because that's like a fight or flight response, right? So you're like under stress, what are you going to do? Are you freeze? Like, do you just not know what to do? Do you have a plan? Do you just, I don't know, hands up? Like, you know what I mean? Puke on your shoes.
Imagine it was like your hood's like turn around, Allie. He's puking in your hood.
That probably would have been next. It would have been like, okay, your hood's gone. Now your sister's hood.
Yeah.
So
who else has a hood?
Who else has a hood?
I need all the hoods.
Mm-hmm. Oh. So that's like the one story that like sticks out in terms of like a bad travel experience in my family, just because the way my mom tells it is just like there was nowhere else to puke. Like no more. There's no more.
Should just sat in the bathroom.
Like, where was he getting?
Where you live now.
Where was he getting all of this? Like what was happening? True. Like
they must have been like giving him water to like feel better and like just
or something or up. Juice because it was right. So they were just doing it to themselves, I think. But so that's the story that kind of comes to mind. I don't know if you think of one like that.
I don't think I have any like puke stories. Not that I can remember, anyways.
It's tough to remember, and like so traveling with kids is just challenging. But I feel like so many people have like found ways to just like do it not like easily, but like with ease.
Yeah. I think nowadays too, like with technology, like it totally helps.
I hate it.
I know. But you know what? Like as much as I like don't want to give her like something like, but like to drive 10 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Cause she's pretty good. She sleeps. So most of the time she gets in a vehicle and she'll just sleep for hours. But I try toys and like we do all that stuff, but like meltdowns, I'm like, that is when I'm gonna hand them an iPad. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Just to make it through. I know you're like, oh my God, Sarah. But there's a time and place.
I think it's fair if you've given up and it's like you need to survive and get through it too, especially like if you're driving and it's like a long trip and this is like life or death. I'm gonna crash the car. Yeah. Because I just want to crash the car at this point. Yeah. Like that I understand. But we did get a message here because I had put it out there like kind of hacks, like vacation hacks with your kids. Like you just like focus on packing a lot of snacks. Like what is it about snacks? How are you keeping them interested in like the trip itself? Like preventing like a kid just from getting cranky. So I know like a lot of the things that we did, my dad, especially road trips, they would organize like pit stops, but they were always on the way to where we were supposed to be going, but they were fun. So like we did a road trip once through Canada and back through the States. Like we did like a big loop and got as far as like BC, just did all of Canada.
Okay.
So it was like a 2 or 3 week trip. And my dad just kind of found landmarks along the whole way and like would take us to a landmark every few hours. So it really helped because it wasn't like 10 hours of nothing and just like
you have a destination that you're going to shortly
every few hours. So there wasn't enough time for us to get bored because we would like get to a landmark, see this like cool whatever it was, and then we'd get back in the car and then it was like, oh, do you remember this part and like this? And so we were talking about it the whole time. And then at that point too, we were like coloring. It was also, I think, during the time of the Calgary Stampede. So once we got to Alberta, that was one of the things we did.
Okay.
Then we went south, like to the Yellowstone Park and did that. We went to Devil's Tower.
Like even just going hiking. And
we went through Montana, saw like bison and like, just we saw a lot. And for kids, it's like they're just like overwhelmed by like how cool everything is. But like pit stops would be like, I think my biggest takeaway is just if you're planning like a 5-hour trip, plan so that maybe you leave sooner, but at the midpoint you have like a picnic with a destination with like something to look at. Yeah. And it's like, it breaks it up and no one's sitting there going, are we there yet? Like, where are we actually going? Like, kids don't read road signs. It's not like they know.
They're like, this is another tree that looks the exact same.
300 kilometers.
Like road games and stuff. That's what we always played like when we were younger. I was a big sleeper in the car because I would get car sick. So, but like counting cows and like games, like just depending on the area. But I think I only traveled with Abby like that long a distance when she was like 6 months. So like a destination wasn't like we would like pull over and go somewhere like to get out, stretch so she could move around and stuff. But like to go for a hike, it was not worth it at the time.
No.
But like I also wasn't giving her an iPad at that time either. We just sang songs and
she just needed to be like broken up and entertained and fed.
Exactly.
And like, you know, change clothes or whatever.
Exactly. Breaks are definitely key, I think, too. Like
and
every 2 hours, like honestly.
And like make time for them. So don't make it like a frustrating thing, like, oh, my trip would be 4 hours, but now it's 5 because I have to stop and feed our kid or like whatever.
Yeah, make it fun.
But make it like, okay, this trip is 6 hours, but 3 hours away there's this thing. So even if you have a baby, it's like, okay, I'm going to stop and enjoy
it's true.
this thing. And
I can do it for myself.
I can spend an hour or two enjoying whatever it is and then just like carry the baby, feed the baby, whatever.
And that's usually what like kids remember.
Yeah.
Is like they might not even remember like the main trip, but they'll remember like the road trip and all the little things you stopped along the side of the road. Like, we gotta
to
pull
show
over and look
egg.
at this cow.
Yeah. And that's actually, so like on landmarks, we did get a message for something that one of our listeners' parents used to do.
Okay.
So their mom would make handmade maps. Oh. So she would like draw maps.
That's so creative.
When they were younger for like the road trip they were going on. So with pictures to color in to represent each town they would pass through. So if they were passing through Vegreville, she would draw the egg, like the Vegreville.
Okay.
I think it's a pisanka, like that big.
Okay.
Colored egg, like the Ukrainian.
Like a decorative egg. Yeah.
Yeah. So then as they passed through the town, they would see the landmark because they would pass the landmark. They would color it, and then it helped them to know like if they were there yet. So they would like know. That. Yeah, they would know on the map, like, oh, okay, we passed the egg. There's like 6 more landmarks until. So like the next one we're looking for is whatever, and then. Right. So like for kids in that like middle, you know, age, I don't know, like 4 to 12 is like, even a 3-year-old could be like looking around.
Looking for stuff. Yeah. That's awesome. I really love that. That sounds like she was a teacher of some sorts. Whoever that was.
It's a lot of effort.
If you're listening, is your mom a teacher? That's amazing. I really love that idea because especially like to color it in so they have something to like do. Like you could even like do like a little, I know like maybe if they're older, like to do a blurb about the town or like a fun fact or like even what to look out for.
That's even just conversation. Like as the parent in the front seat, for instance, if you've got a couple older kids, a mix, whatever it might be, once you pass that landmark, your kids will be like, interested in like, oh, well, why is that the landmark or whatever. You could even have like that town pulled up on your phone, like reading them some facts or like talking about whatever it is, because that always leads to more conversation. Like I find like whenever I'm on a road trip, the conversation always grows from like the thing you were just talking about, because it's just like, okay, we passed a bunch of cows, and then it's kind of like, what kind of cows are though? Oh, is that a dairy farm? Like, oh, I wonder like if it's part of like a bigger dairy, like you just kind of
like maybe it's a company. What is that big tall building? You gotta look it up. That's what is nice about like phones and stuff. Like if you don't know like what that like strange building in the middle of nowhere is, you can probably try to look it up or like play the guessing game of what you think it is and like make up a story about it. So that's sometimes fun too. So I love that. I love that idea. I'm gonna steal that.
And so like everybody feel free to steal that idea because it's amazing. And then also like start selling your maps and
just put them out there for us to
put them up there on Pinterest and we can download them. But like I just thought that's such a good idea. If you have other tricks, like if you're listening, I don't know, like I honestly think for me food was a huge thing. I could never read because I'd get sick in the car.
Same.
But food, like having snacks and then just like having something to talk about. We would always like my brother and I always like now that we're older and we have phones, but we drove across Canada in January, and we would like look up gossip websites. So we'd be like, we would get curious about, let's say, like, you know, like Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber dated at one point. So then Justin Bieber met Hailey and then very quickly married Hailey. So my brother and I were kind of like, okay, but like what happened there? Like,
I remember you telling me this story.
yeah. And so we were like Googling. So we would go from like gossip site to gossip site while we had service. And my brother, because I was driving, my brother would like read it out loud, like the timeline, like what was happening. Then he'd like find another article, like, oh, but this article says this. And we would like read about
Like
their
put it
relationship.
together.
Mm-hmm. So then like we actually became experts on like Selena and Justin's relationship. And like the fact that like he and Hailey met, and they actually met when she was like 12 through her dad. It was like arranged sort of, but then they like never dated, and then they dated for like 2 months, and then they got engaged, and but then Selena was back in the picture. So it was all over, but like super interesting and like stupid to like, you know what I mean?
But it's the time.
Yeah, great time waster. So like, but then you just know facts about so many things after that too. Like we learned about like this disease that like deers get. Yeah, during like hunting season. We just like learned so much random stuff while we were driving. But yeah, I think like that's kind of fun, especially for like adults, or playing like word games and like word association games and those kinds of things. And then if you can find like an easier version to like involve your kids in, I think that's kind of cool. But,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when all else fails, it is okay, and don't feel bad if you do hand them the iPad. If you've tried everything, it's okay.
It's an emergency, like I would say, because
it's not like the first thing you hand them when they get in the vehicle.
You're going to find like on a road trip, and like just we were like as kids, we were always going on road trips all the time, like from very young age. Like this is like something that my family just did, and we didn't have electronics until we were like 9, 10. Yeah. And it was like the first Game Boy that we had or something like that.
Like a Walkman
or something more like music, or it was a Game Boy and I was playing Pokemon, like whatever it would have been, but it was when we were older. So when we were small, it was very much like, how many cows can you count? How many?
Yeah.
But you just have to kind of stay engaged. And I know that can be pretty hard too.
Tiring for a parent too.
Very tiring. But just try. And then, like last resort is your iPad or your phone, because I mean, if your kid is getting really uncomfortable and there's nowhere that you can really stop to like kind of give them a restart for like an hour, then obviously like do it. But
it's the last playing card.
I just do remember being pretty small and having like really positive memories from traveling
from those. Yeah, the kids aren't going to remember if you just hand them an iPad first thing or stick a movie on. They're not going to remember the destinations. They're not going to remember all those landmarks when they're driving around when they're older. Like I remember passing that large tree with the shoe hanging out of it.
And that sticks with you. Like
it does.
You know, you were very small when you saw like a certain landmark, but when you're driving past it, like later on in life, it's like, I know this place. Like, you know, so as much as you can, try to like get them involved in the drive, because that's going to make things easier for you. And I always like think about this. I think my parents used to be so fake, because like they were honestly like faking it till they make it. Like I'm sure they enjoyed, I'm sure they loved us and enjoyed our company. But like a big part of me feels like they really were faking it to like get through that drive. It was like,
you guys are annoying.
Fake smile. And like they probably would like get back in the front and be like, oh, I'm gonna like, you know.
Are we there yet?
I don't remember that ever being, it was never for us, are we there yet? But we were always so hungry. And like road trips were like the time where we could stop at like a good diner or like
You
something
guys
yummy.
knew there was going to be some good food.
So we were always really annoying about food, which I think annoyed my parents, but we were always kind of like, we'd pass like a cool looking diner and we'd be like, I'm hungry. And my mom's like, you just ate. Like, there is no way. And I'm like, I'm hungry. Like, I want to eat an ice cream cone. And it's like,
I want to eat there.
yeah. So now I have an obsession with food as well when I travel. So when I'm like driving anywhere, if I pass something that like I don't typically get to eat, I need to stop.
Let me get that.
Yeah. Like I love Burger King. I know that's like,
I like Burger King too.
I know it's just one of those things, like Burger King and Taco Bell, I know is like,
no, see, I don't really like Taco Bell.
I love Taco Bell because it's so gross and like everything tastes the same.
And it just reminds you of like when you were younger and eating it.
It just reminds me of like being a kid and like going and just getting like, we would go to church and then after church we'd go to Taco Bell and get like 20 soft tacos and just like sit as a family eating like
tacos.
the family pack of tacos.
So random, but okay.
Yeah, very random. But that's just like memories that I have. And so now it's like nostalgic for me. So when my brother and I were driving across country, I'm not kidding, like we stopped at Burger King almost every day and like maybe twice a day. Because I was like,
well, there's very limited options when you're driving across. I was like Subway. When we drove across, it was like Subway, like every day. You're like, what else is there?
Yeah. So once we hit like the bigger cities and started to see Burger Kings, I was like,
Give me that. I like their milkshakes.
Oh, so. I love Whoppers.
Give me a Whopper.
So we were like buying Burger King and it was like, I'll get 3 Whoppers, 2 chicken sandwiches, 2 packs of onion rings, like extra mayo. And we were just like eating and we'd be so full, but then we would like save the burger and like have a burger in like an hour. Like it was just like,
well, you don't know next time you're going to eat, first of all.
True. But it was way too much, like unhealthy amounts of Burger King and like, but it's such good memories. I don't know. It's like,
so it's worth it.
Too good. Too good. Too good.
On the note of food, Allie,
you
got something to share with our listeners?
About food?
Kind of like food.
I don't think it has anything to do with food. Well, maybe. Okay, yeah. So like lately, I've been noticing that like my stomach's getting bigger. And it's not bread. So
it's not pasta either.
It's not food.
And it's not Burger King.
No. As much Burger King as I'm eating, it's a human child. Yay! So I'm due on Halloween. So hopefully it, gets here. A
little goblin or ghoul.
I have a little goblin or ghoul coming into the world. But yeah, so
show us your belly.
I don't even know if it's like belly enough to show. It's such a pathetic little gut, but it's just there.
Aww.
Just little. So I'm 25 weeks.
Congratulations.
Yeah, 15 to go. Thank you. So yeah, it's a secret I've been harboring for a long time.
Yeah.
So yeah,
lying to us all.
Exactly. But now I'm gonna take my kid on a road trip and stop at Burger King and
make a map.
Make them obsessed with
You
Whoppers.
can put Burger King on your map when you make it. Just put all the Burger Kings.
You know what I should do is have like a tally along the side of like all my favorite restaurants.
Yeah.
And it'll be like, how many did we stop at?
See, that's the kind of map I want. It's like a restaurant map. Like, okay, we're gonna stop here to eat.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we're gonna stop here. I like that one.
Exactly.
That's for the adults.
Exciting. So like next summer, we'll have like a 9-10 month old. So we'll see kind of what we're doing. But I'm hoping they get the gene of liking to go on road trips and things.
Yeah.
So he or she better enjoy.
Force them into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not just like mine that just sleeps. I mean, which is great because it makes it so easy. But
well, it makes a good road baby. Like we were always pretty good road babies. So
yeah.
Yeah, hopefully I have a good little road baby, and then we can take them wherever, because every summer is like our trip to BC. So
yeah,
I think that, I mean,
they'll get used to it. Yeah.
We would do it. I don't
no
think
Burger Kings along the way though.
Oh, it's so sad. So sad. I know.
And that's why we talked about Burger King for so long, because Allie's pregnant.
Yeah. I love, like, food is so good. I was getting mad earlier because I went to McDonald's, and so this was one of those moments where I'm like, am I in a different dimension? Because I ordered a sundae and I wanted nuts. Like, I know McDonald's, I know either they used to, maybe it's different locations, like, I don't know, but I knew that they had nuts for their sundaes. Like, you could just get a bag of nuts. I knew this. This is factual for me. This is like, I know.
Like, so, no questions asked.
No. So I went through the drive-through and I got my sundae and I asked for extra nuts. And the gentleman working told me they don't have nuts. And I was like, how? What do you mean you don't have nuts? I'm like, I ate nuts on a McDonald's sundae before. Like, I'm not crazy. Turns out they don't have nuts at that location, and they haven't for a very long time.
That's a disappointment.
So sad.
Especially when you only want the nuts. Did you still get the sundae? I got the sundae. Or did you? Because sometimes, like, I would be so disappointed that I wouldn't even want it.
No. I got the sundae. I got the sundae, but I definitely had a moment driving away where I was just kind of like, how dare they not have nuts?
What is a sundae without nuts?
It's kind of strange, right?
Yeah, or like something. Like
you gotta have.
It's not even a sundae. It's just ice cream with sauce.
It's just ice cream with hot sauce. Yeah, like you have to have like a crunch. It's just that's what makes sense. Anything. That's what a sundae is. Like, so I don't know, but
McDonald's, we're disappointed. Bring back the nuts.
Bring back the nuts. Bring back the nuts.
That's what this can be called. Bring back the nuts.
Bring back the nuts. That's a good one. But I will definitely call this episode "Bring Back the Nuts." I do know now though that the location that has like the hot sundaes, Dairy Queen has nuts. So the next time I need a sundae, I need to go to Dairy Queen and get my nut fix on my sundae, because I'm like.
Bring some of your own in a baggie.
I honestly came home, so I didn't eat the Subway. I didn't eat the sundae.
Food's on your mind.
Always. I didn't eat the sundae right away. Like, I came home and I was like, do I have nuts? Like, I ripped through my pantry, but I had finished the nuts like not long ago. So I'm going to have to buy some nuts, emergency nuts. Okay, I'll stop saying nuts now. I think like food is probably just like a big part of road trips for me, just because of the way I grew up. Food was like the fun thing in our family. It was just getting food and eating together.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I don't know. It's fun for us now too. But,
so. I agree. Food makes everything better and people happier.
Yeah. So we're just like into the beginning of our summer. So I'm sure everyone has some like good vacation planned, or now just like keep it in mind if you do take a small trip or like a little road trip or go on a little getaway. Bring nuts with your family. Just keep it in mind, and then maybe like towards the end of summer, we'll see if there are some news stories for anyone that might be traveling with like a little baby this year, or even just their kids maybe haven't been able to get away because of COVID, right? Just the last like 2 summers has it been 2 summers? 1 summer.
This is the second?
This is the second summer.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's good. Just 1 summer was shot a little bit for everybody. But yeah, we're going to want to know.
Yeah.
How your summer.
Know, if you're like going overboard this summer to like make up for last, or if you're just taking it easy. So I'm curious about.
I've kind of heard a bit of both. So
yeah, same.
I'm curious to know.
Yeah.
And like always, we're here on Mondays. Welcome back. If you want to get in touch with us and chat with us, you can head over to our Instagram at the Edson Parent Cafe. You can email us edsonparentcafe@gmail.com, and you can text 780-517-7055. That would be completely anonymous. So unless you give us your name, of course. So you can just text and give us like a funny story or a topic or something you're curious about yourself.
Yeah.
And then we'll happily share, because it's always super fun to compare stories. And yeah.
Hit us up.
Yeah, and we hope everyone has an amazing summer.
And we'll see you out there.
We'll see you out there in the heat.
In the cool of the night.
In the cool of the night and in the heat of the day. You're just getting poetic. Yeah. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to everyone
soon.
See you
next time.
See you
Bye.
Bye.